penalty called here on the Sabres as Zetterlund flips it in on Luukkonen, who makes the stop. And 30 seconds into Game 7, we get a power play. Tage Thompson is going to get called for cross-checking. So an early power play here for the Senators to start Game 7. Batherson, a shot, gloved down by Luukkonen, with Stützle out in front waiting on the doorstep. Early power play on Tage Thompson's penalty. Game 7 here between these two teams. The Dallas Stars await the winner in the Stanley Cup Final. Back-to-back series with a Game 7 for Buffalo, as they won in dramatic fashion in the second round, winning on the Alex Tuck goal with 17 seconds left in Game 7. Senators pinned in their own end, and now they'll get it out to center. Here's Cousins. Works his way in, squares his body. Stützle, a shot forked wide by Luukkonen. In down low, Garreau. Looking for a place to go. On the wing, it's Stützle. Works in. Stützle, a shot blocker down by Luukkonen. Stützle again up the boards. Tkachuk keeps it alive. Cousins with a bobble. Tuck hits the deck, and McLeod brings it out through center ice, and he clears. Senators gain back control. Under a minute to go on this early power play for the Senators. Tkachuk inside Stützle over skates. Wraparound chance smothered by Luukkonen. 41 seconds to go on the early penalty. 5 shots on goal already for the Senators. Faceoff will come here in the Buffalo end, controlled by the Senators. Batherson gloved down again by Luukkonen. 6 shots on goal, 5 on this power play. Senators win the draw again. Halliday intercepted by Power down low, and Buffalo will clear. Here's Malenstein up short-handed, gets around one and fires a shot first of the game for Buffalo, and Ullmark knocked that one down. Pinto now pinned along the near half wall. Senators gain control in their own end. Halliday will walk it out. Final seconds wind down on the penalty. Pinto flips it ahead, and Buffalo will survive this early penalty by the Senators. Tage Thompson out of the box. He feeds Malenstein, who cuts in, denied by Ullmark, to the far half wall. Pinned there by Batherson. Floats in down low. Perrin is there for the Senators. We played 3 minutes. Scoreless start to Game 7. Winner moves on to the final. Perrin works it in and feeds it around. And Senators will back off. Norris back through center ice here for Buffalo. Cuts inside. Denied. Swatted away by Ullmark. To the far half wall, overskated by Krebs, and comes out. Sabres will have to tag back up. Floats back into the Senators' end where Batherson gathers. And circles back in his own end. Inside Pinto. Halliday now cut off into the zone, and here come the Sabres. Norris brings it in wide, tried to drop it off. Good stick by Sanderson. Battle for it along the near boards. Sabres keep it in. Doan fires a shot, knocked down by Ullmark. And Batherson will walk it out through center ice. Batherson weaves his way to the outside. Centering pass, good stick by Krebs. Bobbled puck. Pinto goes off a skate. And it comes back out to center ice. Here's Rasmus Dahlin. Right down the slot, Dahlin with a bobble taken away by Clevitt. Senators are on it. Here's Brady Tkachuk, who has had an excellent postseason in 2026. Batherson shot goes wide. To the far side, Clevitt. Taken off his stick by Rasmus Dahlin now, and Quinn will walk it through center ice. Quinn drops it off, a one-time try, intercepted by Stützle. And the Senators are back through center ice, intercepted by Quinn now. Thompson can't handle. Clevin jumps on it here for Ottawa. Garreau brings it up ahead. Knocks Krebs to the ground. Power gains control. And Buffalo gets it out of the zone. Quinn will bring it up ahead. Bobbled on his way in. Batherson takes it off his stick. Zetterlund now walks it ahead, waits for his friends. Zetterlund eyeing the prize, cuts inside. Here's Jensen off a body. To the far half wall, Stützle keeps it alive, flips it in deep. Met there by Zetterlund. To the near half wall, Garreau out in front, intercepted by Metsä. Zucker now back through center for the Sabres. Flips it ahead, flip and follow. Zucker gets knocked down. Tage Thompson there for Buffalo. Here's Quinn in the trapezoid down low. Zucker now, taken off his stick by Cousins. Battle continues down in the trapezoid, and the Senators gain control. Jensen up ahead, Brady Tkachuk. Tried to get off a shot, good defense by Power for the Sabres. Battle for it along the boards. Tkachuk escapes, brings it in, denied by Luukkonen. And it goes in down low. Cousins cuts in, penalty called, and there's the whistle. Another power play upcoming early for the Senators. Another cross-check is the call on Buffalo. Already their second cross-check of the game here in the early going. And it's on Zach Metsä this time. The first one was on Tage Thompson. So already the second power play here for the Senators as they look to break the ice to start this game 7 from Buffalo. Stützle will face off against McLeod. McLeod wins it for Buffalo. Intercepted. Stützle tried to turn back. Good recovery there by the Sabres, and they flip it out. Good defense by McLeod on the short-handed attack. Senators gain control in their own end. Cousins now pinned to the boards by Samuelsson. Buffalo keeps it alive in this side. Dahlin is shot off a body. Samuelsson now short-handed for Buffalo, turns it over, and the Senators are out. Here's Tkachuk up ahead. Fires a shot, forked wide by Luukkonen. In down low, Tkachuk. Pinned to the boards by Dahlin, floats out to McLeod. He gets knocked down by Cousins. Cousins battling. Here's Stützle. Into the corner, a poke, and Buffalo jumps on it. Here's Tuck who feeds it ahead. 50 seconds and counting on the power play here for the Senators. In a scoreless game, overskated up top. Here's Greenway who takes a shoulder by Amadio. Senators back out to center. Here's Batherson. Poked on his way in by Bryson. Sabres look to work it in their own end. Greenway takes a hit but flips it out of the zone. Under 20 seconds to go on the power play. Here's Alex Tuck short-handed. Loses control. Greg now back through center ice. Final seconds of the penalty. And Buffalo's penalty kill unit is now 2 for 2 as Byram flips it down. Amadio pinned to the boards by Tuck down low. And the Senators will escape. Here's Pinto. Up top, Zetterlund. Flips it ahead around the boards. Race for the puck controlled by McLeod. Amadio. Pinto now denied. Luukkonen with a layout. And Pinto is denied by Luukkonen. We're over halfway through this opening period now in a scoreless game from Game 7. Face-off control by Halliday. Up top, it's Jensen. Gloved down by Luukkonen. No further play. 9:36 to go in the opening period. 11 shots on goal already for the Senators. Buffalo wins the draw this time. They float it out of the zone. And it comes back into the Ottawa end. Halliday feeds Cousins back up ahead for the Senators. Cousins fires, save Luukkonen. And another stoppage. 9:12 go, opening period. Faceoff will come in the Sabres end. And it's controlled by the Senators in on net, and Luukkonen had to kick it down at the last second. Buffalo gains control on their own then this time, and it comes back out to center ice. Jensen gains control for the Senators. Cousins can't handle. Buffalo gets it back out again. Here's Krebs up the far boards, trying to cut inside, surrounded by Senators. And Ottawa's on it in their own end. 8.5 to go, opening period. 13 shots on goal for the Senators, just 4 for Buffalo. Here in a scoreless opening period to this point. Byron pinned in down low. It comes to the near half wall. Perrin intercepted by Power. And here come the Sabres. Power working with Thompson as the trailer. Here is Thompson to Byram now into the slot. A shot in the air, and what a stop by Ullmark, who sprawls out, and he gets it out of midair on his backside. Linus Ullmark keeps it out on just the 5th shot on goal of the game for Buffalo. Sabres win the faceoff. Dahlin, a shot, clubbed down. Ullmark. 7:46 to go in the opening period. Faceoff controlled by Buffalo. Samuelson off a body. Loose puck controlled by Sanderson. And Garreau brings it back out through center ice, poked away by Matthias Samuelson. 7.5 to go, opening period. Scoreless here in Buffalo. The Sabres had a 3-1 lead in this series. Ottawa's won the last 2 to force a game 7. Dahlin inside on the doorstep, poked away by Ullmark, who got a stick on it. And Garreau back through center ice. Here's Sanderson. Trying to cut inside. Good cut off by Rasmus Dahlin. And Buffalo back through center ice. Here's Greenwood. Chabot with a good poke takes it away for Ottawa. Brady Tkachuk on the puck now. He scored 2 goals in Game 6 to help the Senators. Watch out. Turnover. Zucker ahead. Watch out. Drops it off, and it's off a body. A rebound and a stop by Ullmark. Best chance of the game for the Sabres so far. And Ullmark holds his ground with 6:17 to go in the opening period. Face-off control by the Sabres. Metsa keeps it alive at the line. Fires a shot. Tip try. Goes wide. Senators gain control along the far half wall. Amadio escapes the pack. Under 6 to go, opening period. Gregg surrounded by Sabres turns it over. Here's Quinn. Quinn up ahead looking for a shot. Is forked wide by Ullmark. Cousins pestered. Gets it out to Pinto. Back to neutral ice. Metsa will backtrack for a moment. Allow for a change. And Quinn pestered from behind by Cousins. Good defense. Here is Cousins into the zone. Fires a shot forked wide by Luukkonen. In down below the goal line. Sabres off the boards and out to Quinn across the red line. Quinn brings it ahead. Poked away by Spence. Amadio gains control. Pinto up top. Errant pass controlled by Matthias Samuelson. 4.5 to go, opening period. Scoreless game 7. The Dallas Stars await the winner in the Stanley Cup final. Flip and follow for Clevin, who can't handle. And it goes to the far half wall for Gregg. Pinned to the boards by Mallenstein. He escapes. Byram denied wide of the net. Circles back around and not kept in by Buffalo. And they'll backtrack as they feed it in deep. Amadio takes a shoulder. Gregg keeps it alive in. Here's Perrin with a bobble. Taken away by Tage Thompson. Here's Mallenstein who flips it ahead. Met in the trapezoid by Chabot. Pinned to the boards by Tage Thompson. Floats to the far half wall. We're going to get another penalty. This one might be on Thompson again. Third penalty in this opening period on Buffalo, and it is Tage Thompson, who now has 2 penalties in this opening period, and the third power play already upcoming for the Senators. Already the third man advantage of the game for the Senators. We're in the opening period. Here's Tkachuk, downstairs Stützle. A bobble up top, and it comes back out to center. Maybe one pass too many there for the Senators on that turn. Just over 3 to play, an errant pass now taken away by Rasmus Dahlin. And Buffalo feeds it ahead. Another errant pass taken away by Buffalo at the red line. McLeod flips it in again. Stützle now will walk it up for the Senators. Brings it in wide, 3-on-2. Cousins drops it off. Tkachuk score! What a goal! It's a power play strike, and once again, it's Brady Tkachuk, and the Senators break the ice in Game 7. What a move! He dragged it through the slot and a backhanded flip in past Luukkonen. And the Senators off to a 1-0 start here on the road. And the Senators take advantage of the third penalty of the game on Buffalo, second on Tage Thompson. And Brady Tkachuk gets another goal. That's his third in 2 games. And it's 1-0 Ottawa. Senators right back in. Sanderson works it in down low behind the net, out in front and right through the blue paint. So a 1-0 lead for the Senators, courtesy of Brady Tkachuk's power play strike. Alex Tuch avoids the hit, drops it off, and a save out in front. Never got through. Norris now, as they tried to load up a one-timer, and it comes back out to center. Good defense down low by the Senators. Minute 40 and counting to go, opening period. Game 7 here from Buffalo has the Senators on top. Zucker, centering pass right through the crease. Tuch couldn't tuck it home. And Zetterlund will walk it out for Ottawa. Here's Sanderson. Sanderson with a bobble surrounded by Sabres. Norris jumps out of the pack. And he brings it back through center ice. Under a minute to go, opening period. 1-0 Ottawa. Buffalo trying to find a place to go. Garreau takes a shoulder. Power flips it ahead here for Buffalo. Settled down behind the net. Big hit out in front. And Brady Tkachuk is on it. Feeds Gregg out of the zone with 21 seconds and counting. Gregg weaves his way in. Fires a shot knocked down by Luukkonen. And 11 seconds and counting. Ostlund to Krebs. Now Greenway. Greenway brings it in. Final seconds of the period. And a save by Ullmark. Comes to the near half wall. Tkachuk with the intercept. And Krebs couldn't get another shot off. We are through 1 in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Final, and the Senators are out in front. Start of the second period here in Buffalo. Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Final. The winner moves on to the Stanley Cup Final, and the loser goes home. 1-0 lead for the Senators here in Buffalo. As we start the middle period in Game 7. Tage Thompson couldn't gain control, and it comes back out to center ice. Here's Stützle. Brings it in quickly, drops it off, and a save by Luukkonen. And the rebound goes all the way through the crease. And back out to center, Josh Doan. Here's Krebs now in. Taken off his stick by Sanderson. 17 shots on goal for the Senators, 11 for Buffalo, as it's deep now in the Buffalo end. Krebs will walk it up. Brings it in looking for a center. Drops it off for Doan. Downstairs, Thompson, denied by Ullmark. In down low below the goal line, kicked out for Sanderson. And Stützle will bring it up again. Watch out for the speed. Stützle out in front. Denied by Luukkonen. And a stoppage. A minute and a half into the second period, and Stützle tried to go coast to coast. You take a look at Thompson denied, with Ullmark barely getting a piece of it, hugging the post, and then Luukkonen denying Stützle on the other end. Off to a good start here in the second period. Face-off in the Buffalo end goes for the Senators. Chabot sends it in. Tip try gets knocked down by Luukkonen. And it comes back out to Zucker ahead quickly. Zucker drops it off. Tuck denied. Ullmark with a great save. Another beautiful chance on the tip try out in front. Luukkonen got a piece of it. And then on the other end, Ullmark makes an excellent save on Tuck, right on the doorstep. These two goaltenders going at it. They've been going at it all series long. A back-and-forth series. It was a 3-1 Buffalo series lead at one point after Game 4. Senators won Games 5 and 6 to force a 7. Tuck tried to cut in downstairs, and good defense by the Senators. And Cousins gets it out of harm's way for a moment. Zucker has it poked away by Brady Tkachuk. Jensen takes a shoulder. And here's Chabot who takes another shoulder, but gets it out to center. Here's Cousins. Walks it in, waits for his friends. Behind the back pass. Chabot now cutting in. Knocked down out in front by Byram. Kept alive, and a shot goes wide. Tkachuk off the boards into the corner. Kicks it in down low where Byram is waiting on it. And Buffalo works it in their own end. Out to center now, and Tuck to the pleasure of the crowd. Tuck brings it in. Fires a shot, knocked down. The rebound, Benson with a penalty called, another one on Buffalo. This is going to be the fourth penalty of the game on the Sabres already. And the displeasure from the Buffalo bench being shown at full throat here. Alex Tuck's going to get called this time. So interference is going to be the call. Tuck is not happy. And a fourth power play of the game already for the Senators. They struck on their latest to take the 1-0 lead late in the first. McLeod wins the draw for Buffalo as they work it in their own end and now flip it ahead. Flagged down by Mallenstein. Works it up shorthanded. A shot denied. Ullmark. 15 seconds gone by on the penalty. And so far, the only shot on goal belongs to Buffalo shorthanded. Greenway wins the draw. Metsa sends it in, never got through. And Pinto will walk it ahead. Here's Perrin now. Perrin weaves his way in. Here's Halliday. A shot goes off a skate. Pinto now down below the goal line, out in front, denied by Luukkonen. Puck is sitting on the right wing circle. Bryson works it in down low. Goes off the backside of the cage as they battle for the puck, and Buffalo will get it out. Just over a minute to go on the power play. Perrin survives through center ice. Looking for a place to go. Out in front, Pinto denied. Luukkonen. 52 seconds to go on the man advantage. And Luukkonen doing his best job to keep this at a 1-0 game. Fourth penalty already on Buffalo. 4 power play chances. We're in the middle of the fourth right now. And so far the Senators are 1 for 3 on the power play tonight. Face-off controlled by McLeod. Buffalo looks to get it out of the zone again. Mallenstein cut off by Tkachuk. Senators keep it alive. Samuelson with the intercept. And he's pestered. Mallenstein tries to turn out, and he will. And he feeds it around the boards. 30 seconds to go in the man advantage for Ottawa. Kicked out towards the line. Cousins is on it. Works it up ahead. Good poke by Samuelson. And Buffalo will survive again as they flip it ahead. And we're down to 10 seconds on the power play. We'll see if Ottawa has time for another push. Brady Tkachuk works it ahead. Final seconds tick down. Another good stick by Samuelson. And Buffalo's back to full strength. Another penalty's called, but this time it's going to be on the Senators. Brady Tkachuk is going to get called for a cross-check. And now Buffalo's going to go to the power play. First power play of the night here for the Sabres as they look for the equalizer with the man advantage. Power inside zone, tip just wide. Norris now trying to cut in. Good stick by Spence. Loose puck. Norris out in front and a save by Omar. Minute 47 to go on the power play. Just underway here in the man advantage for the Sabres. They look for the equalizer here against Ottawa in Game 7. Norris will face off against Cousins. Cousins wins the draw for the Senators. And Zetterlund will walk it ahead and feed it around. Buffalo works it back out to center. Zucker. Now Josh Doan with a bobble. Pestered from behind by Samuelson. Doan tried to feed it inside. Players hit the deck. Doan in down low. Wraparound chance poked away. Olmark on a whiff. Thompson now works in. Off the post. To the far half wall. Spence gathers for Ottawa. And they get it out of the zone. Spence will backtrack. Zucker keeps it on side. Zetterlund with the pickoff from behind. And Cousins walks it ahead. Cousins flips it in. Forked wide by Luukkonen. To the near half wall. Players fly as Zucker delivers a blow, and here he comes. Josh Doan now, looking for the center. Doan out behind all the way through, and can't keep it in. Ostlund now into the zone. Here's Krebs, whiffed on the shot, got another try, and Omar holds his ground. With 20 seconds to go on the power play. Benson wins the draw. Power. Up top tuck. Off the boards for Quinn on the wing. Inside Power. Never got it off. Loose puck in the slot. Floats out wide. And Buffalo can't keep it in. Final seconds tick down on the power play. Senators back to full strength. Here's Quinn who can't control. And Sanderson takes it off his stick. And Ottawa's penalty kill stands tall. Paige Thompson. Tried to cut inside. Good defense by the Senators. Thompson delivers a blow. Zub now feeds Gregg out of the zone. Garreau taken off his stick by Power. Krebs now across the red line. Krebs takes a shoulder from Brady Tkachuk. One of the more physical players in the league, Brady Tkachuk. Garreau button hooks back. Intercepted by Tuck and a jailbreak. Here comes Alex Tuck. Score! What a play by Alex Tuck! The intercept, the breakaway, and a tie game at one apiece. Alex Tuck, the guy who scored the game winner in the second round for Buffalo with 17 seconds left in the Game 7 that they played. And now he shows off the defense with the intercept and the coast-to-coast to put it to the back of the net. We're tied at 1 in Buffalo. Greenway in back down low. Inside Bryson off his skate. To the far corner it goes. Amadio will bring it up ahead. Good cut. Works in. Denied Luukkonen. Face-off control by the Senators. Jensen on Luukkonen. Bobbled puck out in front. Hack and whack in the middle for a moment, and Buffalo will survive. Ostlund will bring it up ahead. Poked away, kept alive, no, overskated, but kept in at the line by Quinn. Here's Bryson up top, Metsä. Loses control, Quinn tried to let it fly, and he whiffed on it. Pinto gains control now for the Senators, and he'll walk it through center ice. Here's Shane Pinto, pestered from behind. Pinto in down below the goal line. Metsä gains control for Buffalo. Halfway through the second period in a tie game, offside on the Senators. Another offsides on Ottawa. Consecutive offsides on the Senators. 9:53 to go in the second period. Tied at 1 here in Game 7. Winner moves on to the Stanley Cup Final. Cousins turns into the zone, drops it off for Batherson, who gets hammered. And McLeod will turn back here for Buffalo. McLeod tried to cut inside. Good defense by Spence. Senators are on it in their own end. They turn it over. Here's Quinn. Denied by Omar. Cousins wins the draw for the Senators. Here's Brady Tkachuk. Poked away on his way in by Samuelson. Sabres work it in their own end. Benson out through center ice. Works it ahead. Looking for his center. Here's Quinn who can't handle. Under 9 to go in the period. Big hit along the near boards. Buffalo tries to keep it in. And the Senators gain control out to center and Cousins. Cousins fires on Luukkonen, who swats it away. Into the corner. Cousins cuts in. And he never got it through. Cousins out in front. To the other Cousins in down low. Off the boards up top. Stützle on the wing. Wraps it around down low for Cousins. Benson gets knocked down, and that's going to be a penalty. Another cross-check is going to be the call. Nick Cousins. And another power play for the Sabres. Second power play of the night for Buffalo. They're 0 for 1. Here in a tie game at 1. Senators flip it down. Offside on Buffalo. Zucker got ahead of the blue line. 7:55 to go in the second. Tie game at 1, Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Final. Been a fun one to this point. Face-off in center ice controlled by the Senators. Zucker turns back, and a bobble turns it back over to Stützle. Stützle tried to drop it off to the point. Sanderson tried to keep it alive. Here's Amadio. Works in and gloved down by Luukkonen. Minute 25 to go on the Buffalo power play, and a short-handed attempt there for the Senators. Draw controlled by Buffalo. Josh Doan will start the break in. Fires a shot, save Ullmark, and he stops play right there. Minute 15 to go on the power play. And a faceoff will come in the Senators' end. Benson wins the draw. One-timer off of it by Thompson. Never got through. Ullmark with a good stop down low. Benson circles along the near half wall. Gregg gets on it for Ottawa, and he clips it out of the zone. Luukkonen feeds it around the boards for Alex Tuch. He scored the game-tying breakaway goal earlier in the period. Here's Rasmus Dahlin with a bobble. Keeps it alive and fires it off a body. Loose puck in the slot. Controlled by Gregg, and he clears. 30 seconds to go on the power play for Buffalo. Benson feeds Tuch. Tuch brings it in wide, looking for a drop-off out in front. Zub with the intercept, and he clears again. Thompson keeps it alive in neutral ice. 10 seconds to go on the power play. Benson back in for Buffalo. As they are in the middle of a change, Thompson denied rebound. He overskated. Zucker on the wing brings it in off a skate. And Sanderson gets control. And Ottawa survives. Back to full strength, and they flip it down. Under 6 minutes to go in the period. Buffalo back through center ice. Zucker inside. Malenstein kicked down by Ullmark. To the corner now. Inside Doan with the bobble. Works it in down low. Doan puts the brakes on. And a pass goes off a stick. Malenstein to the point and Bryson. Malenstein off a body. Loose puck in the slot. Goes all the way through. And Perrin gains control for the Senators as they work it in their own end. Big hit by Tuck. Under 5 to go in the period. Senators will get it out. Shane Pinto up ahead. Drags the toe. Pestered from Zucker as it flips in deep. Pinto out in front. Halliday off the blocker of Luukkonen. Rebound stopped once again by Luukkonen. Buffalo gains control in their own end. They turn it over briefly. And Doan will now walk it up. Malenstein works into the slot, loses control. As we approach the 4-minute mark to go in the period. Stützle up ahead for Ottawa. Centering pass intercepted by Malenstein. Byram loses control. Stützle out in front, goes off a stick and out of the zone. Zucker now off the takeaway, brings it up, he got tripped, and that's going to be another penalty. A clear trip. Tyler Clevin, the guilty party, and another power play upcoming for Buffalo. Face-off control by Buffalo. Byram shot goes wide. And Chabot flips it out of the zone to start the power play. Chased down by Power. Kicked into the corner. Senators will get on it. Amadio up top. Working it in on the wing. A bobbled puck goes back out towards the point. Senators will keep it in and now out. Back to the Buffalo end it goes. Under 3 minutes to go in the period. Intercepted by Brady Tkachuk. Spence flips it ahead again as we approach the 1 minute mark to go on the power play. Loose puck. Controlled by Tkachuk out in front. Off a skate out in front. And another one-timer denied by Cousins. Zub up top. Cousins again. Off the post. And it stays out. A short-handed attack by Ottawa. And they ring it off the bar. Cousins across the red line, brings it up short-handed again. Tried to center it inside, and Power got a stick on it. Here's Josh Doan. Looking for a center, it's Norris out in front. He gets it poked away, and the loose puck controlled by the Senators. 15 seconds to go on the Buffalo power play. Cousins to the near boards. Good penalty kill that time for the Senators, as they're back to full strength. Buffalo now 0 for 2 on the man advantage tonight. Here's Clevin on the turnover. Breaks away. Clevin. Score! Another turnover and a breakaway chance. This one for Clevin. And the Senators are back on top. What a move past Luukkonen. And the Senators take a 2-1 lead here in the second period. They kill off the penalty, come back to full strength, and strike for the second time in this game. Tyler Clevin with the go-ahead goal at the 18:44 mark in the second. Back into the Senators' end. Watch out, loose puck. Had to be swatted away by Ullmark. As we're under a minute now in the second. 2-1 Senators. Pinto dangles inside. A bobbled puck controlled by Rasmus Dahlin. And Buffalo works it in their own end. As it pestered back deeper into the end now. 30 seconds to go in the period. Ostlund back through center ice, cross ice for Greenway. Greenway off a skate, has it float into the corner. Greenway gets knocked down by Clevin. Under 10 seconds to go now in the period. Gregg will walk it ahead. Maybe time for one final shot. Gregg drops it off. Cousins, a bobble and a shot. Off a body in front, never got through, and that is the end of the second period. The Senators retake the lead in the final minute as Tyler Clevin puts it home to make it 2-1 Ottawa. It is the start of the third period here at KeyBank Center, and it is quiet here in Buffalo. The Senators have a 2-1 lead, and we are one 20-minute period away, maybe more, from deciding who's moving on to the Stanley Cup Final out of the East. This one floats back into the Senators' end. Dahlin gets there. He's cut off by Sanderson. Senators are on it. Zetterlund pestered, but he'll get it out to Gareau. Stützle turns it over at the red line. Back in is Krebs for Buffalo. Flips it ahead. In down low. And it floats in on Ullmark. A stoppage 49 seconds in to the third period and a 2-1 Senators lead. As we take a look at Luukkonen, who's given up 2 goals in this game. Both of these goaltenders playing pretty well, but Luukkonen has the short hand right now. Faceoff will come in the Senators' end. And Thompson against Stützle, and Thompson wins it. Samuelsson denied by Ullmark. Senators gain control in their own ends. They're back out to center. Zetterlund works it in along the near boards, taken away from behind by Tuck. Kept alive by Zetterlund. Stützle now looking for a place. Sanderson off the blocker of Luukkonen. To the near corner, Krebs. Stützle keeps it alive. On the point, it's Sanderson who works in. Him and Stützle play catch. Sanderson in, flips it wide. To the far corner, Samuelsson gets there, and Josh Doan will carry it out. Doan flips it in just wide of the net. Tage Thompson now trying to cut inside. Good defense by Sanderson. And the Senators back out. Batherson drags the toe. Tkachuk works in all alone. Score! Brady Tkachuk again! He has 4 goals in the last 2 games, and it's a 2-goal lead for the Senators. Brady Tkachuk putting the Senators on his back, deflects it off the inside of the pipe, and in. Second goal of the game for Brady Tkachuk. He had 2 goals in Game 6 back in Ottawa, and he replicates it here in Game 7. Looking to move on to the Stanley Cup Final, and it is dead quiet in this building on his 9th goal of the postseason. And it comes just 2 minutes and 7 seconds in to the third. Ullmark with a save and a stoppage. And the Senators are looking to come from behind They were down 3-1 in the series. They've won the latest 2 to force a Game 7. Inside tuck, denied by Omar. In the far corner it goes. Cousins escapes for the Senators, and Chabot will bring it out. Chabot brings it in wide, looking for a trailer. Works it in behind the net. Good poke by Tuck, and he'll turn back here for Buffalo. Zucker now walks it ahead. Here's Power into the zone. A shot knocked down at the blocker of Omar. And the Senators will get it out of the zone again before it's taken away by Byram in center ice. Quinn back in, splits defenders. Loses control on his way in. Jensen with a good poke. And the Senators back out to center again. Batherson inside Perrin. Perrin gets cut off as he tried to let it fly. He hits the deck. Power now takes a shoulder. Pinto keeps it alive as he's pinned to the near half wall. And it comes back out to center. Here's Mallenstein. Mallenstein pestered by Jensen, and it comes back out. We played just over 4 minutes here in the third, and it's a 2-goal lead for the Senators in Game 7. Good intercept by Jensen. Greenway keeps it alive. Works in. Whiffed twice, 3 times. Good defense by the Senators. Mallenstein to Quinn. Never got it off again. Good defense down low. That's going to be a penalty. And another cross-check on Buffalo. Jordan Greenway gets called for the cross-check inside now, and a power play upcoming for the Senators, up by 2. Fifth power play of the game for the Senators. They're 1 for 4 coming into this one, and a chance to add on to their lead, up by 2. They win the draw. Garoa shot, gloved down by Luukkonen. Buffalo can't get it out. Out in front, Stützle overskates just a bit. And Buffalo now will get it out of harm's way. Flipped in around the boards, Tuck. Good stick out in front. Senators gain control, 90 seconds to go in the power play. Here's Cousins. Works in, drops it off, nobody home. Mensah got cross-checked. That's going to be a penalty. And now we're going to go to a 4-on-4. A lot of penalties here in this Game 7 as Dylan Cousins is the guilty party. So now we go to a 4-on-4 here in Buffalo. As the Sabres look for life. 14:48 to go in regulation, down by 2, Buffalo. Stützle wins the draw against Thompson. 4-on-4 action. Here's a turnover. Thompson gloved down by Omar. .14:32 to go in the game. 4-on-4 action for another minute and 3 seconds. Bryson alone fires a shot forked wide by Omar. To the far half wall, Jensen takes a hit by Thompson. Keeps it alive for Buffalo. Thompson up top, Bryson. Now Mensah inside Doan with a bobble at his skates. Back up top. Mensah to Bryson, a shot. Tip try, no. Thompson denied by Omar. And Batherson will get it out. Good chance there for Buffalo. Now Batherson in. Fires a shot forked wide by Luukkonen. Levin back up top. Stützle intercepted by Bryson. And it comes back out. Josh Doan up ahead for Buffalo. Doan drops it off with a trailer, and it's forked wide by Omar. Now a power play ensues here for Buffalo. Clevin gets a stick on it, and he flips it out of play. So now 30 seconds to go on a man advantage for Buffalo. Trying to get back within 1. The Sabres are 0 for 3 on the power play tonight. They win the draw. Power looking for a place to go. He's pinned to the boards. Kicks it in for Doan. Out in front, Byram with a bobble and a shot. Goes out the blocker of Omar. 15 seconds to go on the power play. Good defense by Gregg, and he clears the zone. And that might do it for the Buffalo power play. Norris will walk it ahead quickly. Power play expires. Sanderson with a good stick. And a bobble at the top of the slot. Kept in by Byram. Floats to the near boards. First guy there is Sanderson, and he exits. Bodies flying everywhere. Cousins up ahead for the Senators, poked away by Byram. Power feeds Josh Doan, intercepted as they battle on neutral ice. Norris back in for Buffalo. Tried to work in, good poke. Norris tried to fire it in. Omar knocks it down. Here's Doan. Doan flips in, it goes wide of the net. Sanderson now along the boards behind the net. And the Senators look to escape. And Pinto will walk it out through center ice. Buffalo back on it in center. Mallenstein survives the hit and works it ahead. Mallenstein works it in wide. In back behind the net. Rasmus Dahlin wrap around. Denied by Omar. 11:10 to go in the third period. Still a 2-goal lead for the Senators. Face-off control by Buffalo. Dahlin with a bobble and a shot on net denied by Omar. Senators gain control again. Here's Holiday up the near boards. Flips it ahead. Buffalo gains control in their own end as we approach the halfway point of this third period. The one goal in the period belongs to Brady Tkachuk. Game just 2:07 into the period. 35 shots on goal for either side, but a 2-goal lead for Ottawa. Big hit behind the play. Ostlund flips it ahead. Ricochets up the side of the cage. Only Senators are back there. Perrin gets level. Greenway brings it back in, flips it ahead again as we're over halfway through this third period now. Senators work it in their own end, out to center and Cousins, who flips it around the boards. Buffalo trying to get it out of their own end. They will. Here's Krebs up ahead now. Tuck. Tuck sends it in wide of the net. And Clevin gains control for the Senators. Ottawa works it in their own end as we're just over 9 to go here in the third, and a 2-goal lead for the Senators. Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Final. Cousins circles in. Good stick by Dahlin, who gains control. Here's Krebs up ahead. Cut off on his way in. Keeps it alive. Downstairs, a shot denied Omar. Rasmus Dahlin was right there all alone. And another stop by Omar, who has had a tremendous game tonight. Jensen will take a hit, but feed it out of the zone. He survives. And here is Jensen. Takes another hit. And that time Bryson gained control back out to center ice. Senators backtrack. They turn it over. Briefly, good recovery there. And Batherson will turn back. Here is Batherson out in front. Save Luukkonen. Stützle never got a piece of it. Time becoming a factor in this game 7. Stützle wins the draw. Chabot flips it in, kicked down by Luukkonen, poked it away, and it comes back out to center ice. Here's Quinn. Quinn fires in on Omar, who forks it away easily. Quinn out in front. Benson denied by Omar again. In down below the goal line. Into the trapezoid they fight. And Chabot picks out the loose change. Another big hit by Buffalo. Senators will get it out. Chabot brings it up, flips it in deep. What defense by the Senators tonight. Just the one goal and the turnover. Alex Tuck on the breakaway. Inside pass intercepted by Chabot. Speaking of defense, another good play for the Senators defensively. Batherson, a shot, knocked down Luukkonen. And it comes back out to center and Ostlund, who flips it around the boards. Thompson and Stützle collide. Here's Thompson inside, loses control, and it comes back out wide. Cousins survives a hit. Not the second one, though, but it does come back out to center ice. Doan flips it back in. Senators back on it. We're under 6 to go now in the third in a 2-goal game. Spence works it in out in front. Batherson denied. Loose puck out in front. Perrin now into the slot of Bobble. And it comes to the near boards and out to center. Here's Tage Thompson. Loses control thanks to Spence defense. Ostlund keeps it alive for Buffalo. Power fires. Tipped in! Tage Thompson out in front. And Buffalo's back within 1. We aren't done just yet here in Buffalo. Tage Thompson with a beautiful redirect in between the legs of Linus Ullmark. Goes off the inside of his skate. And Tage Thompson keeps Buffalo alive here in Game 7. 5:22 left. Batherson in here for Ottawa. Cuts inside, loses control. Zub now pestered on the outside, kept alive. Sanderson denied by Luukkonen, and the rebound goes to Buffalo. Here's Zucker, inside, score! Back to back! And this Game 7 is tied! Josh Norris, unbelievable! More late game heroics for the Buffalo Sabres. 2 back-to-back goals. And this game is tied at 3 apiece. Unbelievable. This Sabres team is never done. As Norris gets his 9th of the postseason. And in the blink of an eye, we are tied. 27 seconds apart on the 2 goals. And it's a brand new game late in Game 7. Tuck loses control out in front, keeps it alive, and a shot goes off the pipe. My goodness, Buffalo has turned the tides of this game. And Josh Norris, the game-tying goal moments ago, brings it ahead. Try to cut inside, and it goes in down low. Zucker back up top to Byram. Good block out in front. 4 minutes to go in the third. Comes back out to center. Here's Tkachuk, who takes a hit and turns it over. Buffalo changes. Zucker will walk it ahead. Here's Byram. Loses control as it floats in deep. Sanderson walks it ahead. Poked on his way in by Quinn, and it comes back out Mallenstein. Here come the Sabres. Mallenstein drops it off Byram, off a body. Anderson, Pindle on the corner, kept alive. Byram flips it in down low. Quinn on the puck, cuts in, loses control, good stick by Zub. And Amadio back through center ice. Under 3 to go, Amadio out in front, Zetterlund score! Zetterlund puts it in, and the Senators retake the lead! What a third period from Buffalo! Luukkonen couldn't get over in time, and he just tucks it in. Zetterlund, the go-ahead goal late in Game 7. What a series this has been. And a back and forth last couple minutes. And the Senators, with a pump of the fist on the bench, retake the lead late in this third period. What a game. And we're not done yet. 2:43 left. And a 4-3 lead for the Senators. Buffalo jumps on it. 2.5 to go in Game 7. The winner moves on to the Stanley Cup Final. Thompson has it taken off his stick by Zub. Nearly turned it over, but it comes all the way through, and here's Greg. Greg brings it up for the Senators, forked wide by Luukkonen off the stick. Josh Doan recovers, and Thompson back through center ice. 2 minutes to go in a one-goal game. Krebs centers. Goes off a stick. Doan off a body. Loose puck in the slot. Hack and whack in the middle. It's still loose, and it goes in wide. Krebs circles back. Up top, Dahlin blocked down in front. To the far half wall. Thompson. One-timer blocked again. And Dahlin keeps it alive. Taken off his stick by Amadio. And the Senators clear. Just over a minute to go. Good stick by Dahlin. Buffalo slows it down for a moment as we approach the 1 minute mark to go. Dahlin off of Ullmark. Rebound just out. And Ullmark finds the puck. Unbelievable. 56 seconds to go. Tage Thompson with a beautiful look. Multiple times in this game he has a goal. He scored the first of 2 goals within 27 seconds of each other for Buffalo to tie the game, and now he's going to try to come up big here in the final minute of Game 7. Chance to catch our breath for a moment. Here we go. Final minute here in Buffalo. Stützle wins the draw. Senators will get out. Zetterlund taken off his stick by Dahlin. Stützle with the intercept. Brings it in for Ottawa. Net is not empty for Buffalo. Comes back out to center. A lot of time coming off for the Sabres. Senators still working in center. Clevin feeds it in. We're under 40 seconds to go here in the third. And Buffalo has not been able to empty their net yet as they flip it all the way down. And this is going to be an icing call with 30 seconds left. And we're going to get a face-off back in the Buffalo end. McLeod wins the draw. Buffalo's got to hurry. Dahlin takes a hit. Here's Benson. Penalty. No, not a penalty. They empty the net. Benson! Glove down, Ullmark. 19 seconds left, and the net is empty for Buffalo. And it all comes down to this in Game 7. Remember, the last Game 7 in Round 2, they scored the go-ahead goal with 17 seconds left. It was Alex Tuch, number 89 in the blue, in the slot. Faceoff sits on the dot. Cousins gains control. He walks it out. Cousins eyeing the empty net. It goes off his skate. Ricochet Dahlin keeps it out for a moment, but now we're under 10 seconds to go. One final push for Buffalo. It's Tuch. 4 seconds left. Tuch fires off a body. It's blocked. And that's it. The Ottawa Senators come back from 3 games to 1 and are moving on to the Stanley Cup Final. It was a 3-1 series lead for the Buffalo Sabres. And the Senators win Game 5, they win Game 6, and they win Game 7. Unbelievable. The Ottawa Senators and the Dallas Stars, the stage is set. What a performance by Ottawa. And their run continues to the Stanley Cup Final. What a game from Buffalo tonight, especially that third period, which featured 4 goals, including the go-ahead goal late. Fabian Zetterlund ends up getting the game-winning goal for the Senators. What a game, what a series. And Ottawa's moving on to the Stanley Cup Final to take on the Dallas Stars.